Well, good evening and welcome to the SAIF Agri-Business Banquet, this evening presented by KeyBank. I am Wendy Valise with Portland General Electric and proudly serve as this year's president of the Salem Chamber Board of Directors. And we are so pleased that you're here, and we're pleased that we're gathered this evening as we recognize the significant importance of agriculture across Oregon and right here in the Willamette Valley. Tonight you will see some awesome ag facts being displayed on the screen throughout the evening, and I've already seen lots of them. They're beautiful, well done. They are designed to help us reflect and understand the impact our growers and producers have on our state's economy. I could not be more excited to listen to a gentleman who has shared his uniquely Oregon story across the global media network, our own Tillamook dairyman, Derek Josie. Now I'm going to ask everyone to please take a moment to turn off your cell phone or put them on silent so we can fully enjoy this evening. And I'm asking you to please stand with me for the prayer or the moment of reflection and remain standing for the national anthem sung by Chrisara Nigren. We take this moment to pray or reflect, each in our own way, on our lives and on this moment. We are thankful for the meal before us, for the hands that prepared it, and for those who serve it. We are grateful for this day, for its blessings, its opportunities, and even for its challenges. May we lend each other strength and guidance as fellow leaders within the Salem community and across Oregon. May we be deeply driven to give our best always, and be courageous to rise to meet the challenges we each face. Amen. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Chrisara from Albany, who is serving as the 2022-2023 Oregon Dairy Princess Ambassador. She represented Lynn and Benton counties in 2021 and received the state title in May 2022. Chrisara graduated from Sandy Am Christian Schools in 2021, where she was an active member in the FFA and served as chapter president her senior year. She competed at the National FFA Convention in the Milk Quality and Product Evaluation Contest and has won the Dairy Cattle Evaluation Contest for the Oregon FFA 2 years in a row. At Lynn Benton Community College, she is an active member of the livestock judging team and is studying agricultural sciences. Her career goal is to advocate for agriculture through legislature, government agencies, or nonprofit organizations. As the Oregon Dairy Princess Ambassador, Chrisara promotes milk and dairy products across the state, educates consumers about life on a dairy farm, and serves as a mentor to women in the Oregon Dairy Princess Ambassador Program. Please join me in welcoming our national anthem singer, Chrisara Nigren.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
Talented young woman. Thank you so much, Kusara. We appreciate your leadership and for serving as an Oregon Dairy Princess Ambassador. At this time, you can all take a seat. I'm excited because I get to introduce our MCs for the evening. This brother and sister duo proudly stand for local farmers and producers. Through their family farm and retail operations, the Zielinski family welcomes thousands of visitors and customers each year to their family retail space and expansive family farm at Easy Orchards. John Zielinski leads operations and management at Easy Orchards, recognized as one of the Mid-Valley's premier family-friendly spots to visit. In fact, you will likely see his daughter running the retail store when you stop in it. It is powerful to see a multi-generational business continuing to thrive here locally. And our next MC, through her work at Portland General Electric, co-presenter Teresa Haskins has worked closely with Oregon companies to assess their energy needs and find solutions for reliable and affordable electric power. And she's a great colleague and teammate, so I'm really fortunate to get to work with her. In addition to the sibling connection, both John and Teresa have served as presidents of the Salem Chamber, the only family duo to have served in this manner. And now they become the first sister and brother to serve as co-MCs for the SAIF Agri-Business Banquet, presented by our partners at KeyBank. Please join me in welcoming Teresa Haskins, accompanied by her brother, John Zielinski.
Thank you, Wendy. Thanks. Well, hello, everyone out there. Woo! Nice to be here on a Friday night. Yeah, John and I are debating whether we should do a road show, so you'll have to let us know at the end of the night. You can't quite tell, but we do appreciate your participation tonight, your excitement. Oregon has...
We'll see if I get a word in edgewise here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In a minute. This says I go first.
I know. You always go first. You're older than I am. Go ahead.
It's true. It's true. Sadly, that's true. Okay, so I want to remind us, while you're eating your dinner, there's some incredible Oregon food and wine and beer and whatever, water products in front of you. So please enjoy that, because that's the incredible bounty that we bring as farmers, ag producers, processors, brewers, vintners, whatever you might be, and all of you industries that support that, like my company, PGE. So we appreciate your participation. We're looking forward to it. So, John, what comes next?
Okay, so they asked if we wanted to be MCs together, and I thought, I was thinking more of, the Marx Brothers, They always needed a straight man. I thought I'd be Groucho and she could play the straight person. Then I thought, no, I got a better role for her. She could be Harpo. Silent as a church mouse. Anyway.
For good
That's
reason.
about it. Now it's yours again.
That
was my joke. Go ahead.
Okay. We're going to have to resort to blogging or something else into podcasts. Okay, so it's the dinner bell time, and we don't need to take time up here right now to talk much with you, because we will be back up on stage in a little bit. We're going to give you about 20 minutes or so to eat your meals, and then we're going to get into a really awesome program tonight. And we're excited to listen to Derek and to hear our FFA presenter and all kinds of things on the agenda. So while we are eating, you'll notice on the screen there's going to be a slideshow, and there's some really beautiful pictures of Oregon agriculture and some other interesting facts and tidbits about Oregon ag. I think that's it.
I think that's about it. Yeah, enjoy your meal. Enjoy some Oregon beverages. We'll be back.
All right, thanks.
What an honor to have the opportunity to help celebrate and recognize the contribution of Oregon's agricultural industry on behalf of our partners and Portland General Electric. Each year, PGE reaffirms their support for our growers and producers by investing in agriculture's future. PGE is proud to work with agricultural customers to provide safe, reliable, clean, and affordable energy to help your farms and businesses succeed and remain competitive. PGE is dedicated to help support the development of tomorrow's workforce, whether that is in the agribusiness or maintaining a state-of-the-art wind turbine, which is why we're really honored to sponsor the Smart Grid Scholarship tonight. On a personal level, I grew up on a farm outside of Mount Angel, and I grew up picking strawberries to, as I was telling our guests at the table, I drove hop truck up until my early 20s. And one of the things that was incredible about, as I look back, is working on a farm, you develop a strong work ethic, and you also learn a tremendous amount of skills that you use throughout your life, and I've certainly used them in many roles and even as the chamber president. So on a personal level, this is really a tremendous honor for me. Tonight we will recognize and honor Brecken Richardson, a special young woman who has received national recognition within FFA. FFA is the premier youth organization preparing members for leadership and careers in the science, business, and technology of agriculture. With over 850,000 members across nearly 9,000 chapters, the FFA has a very distinguished brand that has become synonymous with success in the agricultural industry. Brecken Richardson is from Boring, Oregon, and graduated from Sandy High School in 2022. She is currently serving as the 2022-2023 Oregon FFA State Treasurer. Brecken wished to serve as state officer to create a bond that encourages people to become involved in agriculture, regardless of their background. She firmly believes that when students of all backgrounds feel welcome within the agricultural industry, more students will realize and understand the value of agriculture. She strongly believes that every student would benefit from agricultural education and hopes to inspire others to thrive and involve themselves in the industry. She plans on being part of the solution by becoming an agricultural science and technology instructor and FFA advisor after going to Oregon State University, go Beavs, to receive her degree in education. In just a moment, we will have the pleasure of hearing from Brecken. I'd like to invite you to the stage and welcome Tom Hoffert, CEO of the Salem Chamber, to join me for this special recognition.
Look at this one, Wendy.
Wow, that's awesome. I think the back row can read it.
So we are going to, before you get started here, and before Wendy gives you, we're going to bring you right up in front. We're going to have you hold this. By the way, the lady to your left is the one who
Incredible. Just inspiring.
Hold on, Wendy. We got to get a photo up here. Oops, sorry. Now we've assured her the real check has already been handed to her parents. Still got that, okay. Great job, great job.
Thank you so much. In partnership with the Salem Area Chamber, Portland General Electric is proud to award Brecken with a $1,000 college scholarship to assist with her tuition at Oregon State University. As Tom mentioned, the check is in your parents' hands, in the right hands. And it's inspiring, and I'm excited. And please help me welcome Brecken to the stage here to say a few words.
Freshman year of high school, the district debate tournament. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I am an enormously competitive person. And much to my mother's annoyance, I don't back down easily. It's the first round of the day, and my opponent and I walk into the room and look to the board to find our first topic. Lo and behold, the government should implement more restrictions on agriculturalists to combat climate change. A bit of a loaded topic. Naturally, I choose to negate this, and what follows was quite the heated debate. Thinking about it now, agriculture itself has been a hot-button topic throughout the modern age. But with the effect that the coronavirus has had on our culture, there is one thing that no one can argue with. The pandemic has completely reshaped the way people think about food. Since the pandemic, we've seen increases in home baking and a trend of pandemic homesteading for the DIYers of life. These have actually been a benefit to us all, as consumers have become more aware and educated about where their food is coming from, as they've been faced with, for the first time in their lives, empty grocery shelves and limits on regular household items like toilet paper, cleaning supplies, milk, and meat. With more public attention than ever before, there seems to be new revelations about the agricultural industry every day. None more concerning than that of the insecurity of the U.S. food production and supply. Now, before we can investigate how this insecurity affects the average consumer, we first must understand where this insecurity actually comes from. The issue itself stems from the lack of producers themselves. As it is now, only 2% of our nation are considered farmers or ranchers. That's 2%, providing food and fiber for the remaining 98% of the American population. Not only that, but producing enough food that only 15% of the United States food supply is imported. This just illustrates the sheer magnitude of what our producers are responsible for. This responsibility demands more than ever from our farmers and our ranchers. While the market calls for the utmost of quality, the rise in demand ensures that our producers must work tirelessly to ensure that they achieve new heights of efficiency. In fact, throughout the last 45 years, Oregon's agricultural output has increased by nearly 320%. All the while, the percentage of producers themselves have only been in decline. This would not have been possible without corporate consolidation, which essentially means that if one producer is negatively impacted, essentially the entire industry faces similar setbacks, mimicking the ripple effect. These ripples affect even the most average consumers, with impact highlighted by the pandemic and fallout still active today. The prime example of this was seen in our meat processing industry, where, according to the U.S. Pork Checkoff, 15 of our nation's pork processing plants are responsible for up to 60% of our entire nation's pork processing capacity. That's 15 plants. If any one of these 15 plants are closed down or briefly shut down, then our pork industry is faced with nearly insurmountable challenges. In fact, in 2020, the nation's largest pork processing facility in Tar Heel, North Carolina, was briefly shut down due to the immense struggle to contain the coronavirus. This closure was mirrored in the market with a sharp decline of roughly a 16% loss of market capacity. This just illustrates how crucial each farmer and each rancher are in our industry. With this in mind, there are many avenues to explore in regards to what we can do to not only support the 2% that provides for us, but also to grow that percentage. As it is now, being an agriculturalist is no easy feat. There's endless streams of criticism and little to no recognition. To practice consumer responsibility, the best course of action seems fairly straightforward. Support our local agriculturalists. Whenever you're given the opportunity to thank a farmer, take it. Engage in harvest festivals or even farmers markets. All the while ensuring that the average consumer remains educated about what agriculture really is imperative. After all, an industry that feeds you is an industry worth keeping around. Now, by being here tonight, you have already taken numerous steps to support Oregon agriculture. Your support will work to ensure that future generations are well provided for. So, the next time you find yourselves in a debate about agriculture, I urge you to remember 3 things. 1, I urge you to remember what producers do and how vital they are. 2, I urge you to remember that without our agriculturalists, there's no food, there's no homes, and there's no clothes. And 3, and probably the most important, I would say, remember that our producers deserve to be celebrated. Thank you.
All right, that's a hard act to follow. So many great facts in that. I mean, it is so true. Each and every one of you, thank you for what you grow, what you do. Thank you for all the support industries out here. I was recently at the American Farm Bureau annual convention, and Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack was there, and he was telling us how all these wonderful things that the current administration is doing for us. And one of the facts he mentioned was that we had the highest farm gate in the last, on record, last year, highest farm gate revenue that there's ever been. But he followed that with, yet 50% of the farms did not show a profit. So when Brecken is saying thank a farmer, thank them. They're doing this not necessarily always to get rich. They're doing it because it's a lifestyle, it's a choice, it's something we do because we love it. So,
you want to start thanking some
yes,
sponsors?
Yes, I do. I want to get off my soapbox and start thanking sponsors. Who would anyone be without an older sister to tell them what to do?
Yeah, well, you would have picked up more apples if you... But we do appreciate you all listening. Brecken, you did an awesome job. Thank you so much again. And yeah. Here, let me move mine. There you go.
So anyway, one of the things I was going to say, one last thing. To any of your people that you deal with, elected officials, support industries or anything, one of the things that I picked up from the American Farm Bureau convention was, don't tell me how much you love me, show me how much you love me. Mm-hmm. All right. What a ham. Okay.
If you want to get a hug, you can just ask.
All right. Will our attendees from our title sponsor, SAIF, please stand so that you can be recognized? Thank you very much for making this event possible. Without you, we couldn't do it.
All right, and we also want to thank our attendees from our presenting sponsor, KeyBank. So all of you with KeyBank, will you please stand? I saw Ernesto. And yes, thank you. And we'll hear from both of these in a few minutes.
And they wouldn't let Teresa do this one, I'm not sure why. But we want to thank everyone from PGE and the Smart Grid program, FFA Scholarship, and all that they do. PGE folks, please stand, be recognized. All right. And now would our major sponsors please stand as your company's name is called. Let's hold our applause until the company's names are all read. Agri-Business Real Estate Services, Aldrich CPA and Advisors, Allied Video Productions, Capital Press Media Group, Chemeketa Community College, Agricultural Sciences, Fisher Hayes, Joy and Allen, Harvest Capital Company, stay standing all you guys, there's more to come. Huggins Insurance, Kinsey and Company, Singer Luwak Accountants and Consultants, Willamette Valley Vineyards, our tremendous wine sponsor. Let's give them all a great round of applause.
So now I want to thank the 5 companies who have served as supporting sponsors for our event this year. And you'll see their names up on the screen. That is Corbin University, Country Financial Willamette Valley Agency, the Oregon Cattlemen's Association, Oregon Fruit Products, and Pradham Co-op. So thank you all. You can see why we had you exercise earlier on that little DNA test. We're going to keep you moving tonight, all right?
All right, well, thank you, everyone. It is all sponsors. Thank you so much. We couldn't make this possible, mostly because most farmers are too cheap to buy their own ticket. And everyone is here because they were invited by somebody. So thank you, all sponsors, for being here and for bringing farmers that otherwise would be home just watching a game or something, you know.
Okay.
But thank you.
So yes, I am the straight person. He is the Groucho. I'm not the Harpo. Okay, so I want to recognize our elected officials who are here with us tonight because we appreciate your leadership and the time and effort and commitment you put into serving our communities and agriculture. So if you are an elected official, would you please stand and be recognized? And I will also, please stand, all of you. I saw Chris and I think Kevin Mannix is out there. So let me introduce, I may miss someone. So if I miss someone, just holler out your name. Salem Mayor Chris Hoy, Salem Ward 6, City Councilor Julie Hoy. I saw you earlier, Julie, wherever you are. There you are. Kaiser City Councilor Sorida Cross. Marion County Commissioner Danielle Bethel, Marion County Commissioner Colin Willis, State Representative Kevin Mannix, and from Chemeketa Community College board members Ed Dodson, Neva Hutchinson, Ken Hector, Jackie Frankie, Ron Pittman, and Bill Burgess from the Marion County Clerk. I think you are all here tonight. And if I missed you, like I said, holler out. We appreciate you a lot.
All right, we're also going to recognize our Salem Area Chamber of Commerce past presidents. In the audience, we have Laura Dorn, Kathy Goss, TJ Sullivan, Mark Shipman, Kurt Arthur, Teresa Haskins, and myself.
And now for the current chamber board, President Wendy Valise, the aforementioned President Laura Dorn, Mike Herron, Rich Duncan, Randy Sutton, Christy Witzke. I saw you out there, Christy, over here. There you are. Stephen Joy and Julie Hoy. Thank you very much.
Okay. Every year, a keystone of this event is the Chamber's dedicated volunteer Agri-Business Banquet Work Group. They do a great job in providing guidance on the logistics and speaker selection for the event and are led by Miss Lynn Zielinski-Mills at SAIF. Will Lynn and all members of the Ag Banquet Group please stand and be recognized?
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so this brings us to our next phase of the program, and we're going to hear from our title sponsor. So please welcome to the stage Chip Terhune, President and CEO of SAIF. Thanks, Chip.
Thank you very much, everybody. So last year, I had an opportunity to attend this event, and I have to say, coming out of the pandemic, it was powerful. And I made a little bit of a joke last time that I'd forgotten how to use all the utensils available on the table at a place setting. This year, I'm proud to report that I actually remembered what to do with the 2 forks. So that's a little note of improvement. Before I get going on my prepared remarks, I just want to say that from my vantage point at SAIF Corporation, how deeply proud we are to be not only a part of this event, but to have been a partner with the Salem Chamber of Commerce putting on this event for over 2 decades. This is near and dear to our heart at SAIF. We are 109 years old. We are Oregon. And because we believe that we are a part of the fabric of Oregon, we believe that we are absolutely a part of your world and huge fans of your work, huge, just powerful allies of what you do, and deeply respectful, and wake up every day trying to earn that relationship with you over and over again, because you work so hard and we work so hard just to keep up with you at SAIF Corporation. So I'm going to go and just continue off script, which is going to bother my team tremendously, and I'm very comfortable with that up here because they can't actually physically reach me. But I want to make a couple comments. First of all, Brecken, that was an incredible, incredible speech, right? And I just want to say to my partners at the Salem Chamber of Commerce who organized this event, just how deeply moving it is for me to follow Brecken in this agenda and itinerary. It's intimidating, just frankly. Wow. I also want to recognize my colleagues at SAIF Corporation who are here with me tonight, and they're here with me tonight because they care about all of you. So if I could just ask my team to stand, please, I would deeply appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I also just want to clarify, this is the team that prevented you from seeing a 200-slide PowerPoint, which was my idea for the presentation. They talked me off the ledge. They said, please, God, don't do that. And I take them seriously, so I didn't. I do want to just talk about another individual who's here tonight with us at the table I'm sitting at, who is near and dear to my heart. And that's Jeff Stone, who is the Executive Director and CEO of the Oregon Association of Nurseries. And Jeff, would you mind standing, please? Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah. So Jeff used to serve until very recently on the SAIF Board of Directors. So he was my boss, but he's not now. And that gives me a certain license that I'd like to just highlight. So I would also like Jennifer, Jeff's wife, to stand, please, and just say, Jennifer, you are my favorite. Just want to call that out. Thank you. So to that, let me get to the prepared remarks, and then we can go about our evening. So I appreciate you guys allowing me that kind of personal point of privilege. So I'm Chip Terhune. I'm the president and CEO of SAIF. I've been on board about 1.5 years so far, and loving and learning every minute of it. For those who don't know, SAIF is Oregon's not-for-profit workers' comp insurance company. And we've been around for 109 years, since 1914, if I did the math correctly. And for us, one of the underpinnings of our business is the fact that we actually represent in the voluntary market 90% of the ag community in the workers' comp insurance industry. And I will say that is an honor and a privilege for us that we wake up every day and focus on. So incredibly grateful for that. I grew up in Corvallis, Oregon, and I can tell you that you cannot grow up in Corvallis, Oregon without having a profound respect for your industry. It actually just is not possible. You have to be in a coma for the entire time you're in Corvallis not to realize the impact that you guys have, not just as it relates to, frankly, the economy of Oregon as well as locally in Corvallis and Oregon State University, but quite frankly, the amount of imports that occur and exports that occur throughout the nation and across the world. And we are incredibly impressed by that at SAIF. I am proud to say that I once wore the blue jacket. I'm also proud to say that it was for raising sheep. And I'm also proud to say that I got an honorable mention at the Benton County Fair one year. Yeah, okay. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was good. That was actually in my prepared remarks, so you can see the high regard that my staff actually has for me. Yeah. Thank you, Lynn Zelensky Mills. Appreciate that so much. So it seems like every year there's no shortage that this industry faces. So as we look out, it seems like every year I'm talking about just incredible extreme weather events, fires, pandemic, I don't know, whatever next Mother Nature's going to throw at us. But from my vantage point, resiliency is the order of the day for all of you in this room and your industry. It is incredible to behold, and I think for the rest of us to sit back and watch you do what you do despite all of that, it's powerful. You put food on our tables. And I think Brecken said it best. You put food on our tables, and that right there, if you did nothing else, is the most powerful thing I can possibly imagine in terms of getting to the hearts and minds of Americans and Oregonians. And I think we lost touch of that during the pandemic, but I think as Brecken pointed out in her speech, there was something that came back during that time as well, some connection that got made back to this industry. And my hope is that we can capitalize on that and help you capitalize on that to continue to make that connection stronger. Okay, skipping around a little bit, I do want to say that for 30 years, SAIF has traveled the state hosting free agricultural safety seminars because at our core, our job is to make sure that your employees go home safely every night and that they can return back and make your business productive, efficient, and hopefully profitable. From our vantage point, a lot of the seminars, the safety seminars we've done have been virtual over the past several years, but I'm proud to say we are back in business in person, and we are thrilled to be that. Now, if you still prefer virtual, we can arrange for that, so I just want to make sure that you know that too. Our goal each year is to offer safety education and tools to take back to the shop or their farm. Those seminars have facilitated the training of thousands of farm owners, managers, and workers, and we believe that they've actually prevented thousands of injuries from occurring over the course of the decades. Our team at SAIF feels privileged to meet so many dedicated members of your community every day that we go out there. So thank you for welcoming us when we do. I want to close by saying how very honored I am to just even be a part of this evening. I am thrilled to offer the 200-point PowerPoint presentation, so if you'd like it, I can email it to you instead. I'm just kidding. And of course, I wish you all a profitable, meaningful, valuable, and frankly, fun 2023. God, could we just have some fun in our world for a little while, and a plentiful harvest as well. I hope you enjoy your evening, and it is my distinct honor to actually introduce Ernesto Tuscovich, Senior Vice President at KeyBank, one of our also fellow sponsors. Ernesto.
Chip, I asked our friend here, what does honorable mention mean? And she said, better than nothing. Hello, I'm Ernesto Toshkovic. I'm Senior Vice President at KeyBank Commercial Banking. Good to see you all. And as Chip said, thank you for food security that you provide to all of us. Last year, U.S. Census Bureau reported that Oregon's population declined by about 0.4%. While United States remained the promised land, growing 0.4%, Oregon seems to be losing a little bit of its appeal as a great place to live. As I think, who are the pillars of this community who can reverse this trend? I keep thinking about the agricultural community. You and your family work this land for decades. You improve it, you enriched it, and you provided food and crop security throughout the world. You guys embody the principles of hard work, perseverance, and good ethics. And because of you, I believe this state will remain and continue to be a wonderful place to live. I want to tell you a story of a friend and a client who embodies the same principles. My friend Dan Vanoy, who owns Emery & Sons Construction Company, he grew up on a ranch in Montana that his family has held since 1800s. As a young man, he went on and worked throughout the United States on construction jobs. But he kept coming back to his family whenever needed to work on his ranch. Now he owns Emery & Sons. He runs it very successfully. And yet, he has not forgotten his ranch. Rain or shine or snow, he goes back to round up the cattle, to take them to next pasture, and to do improvements of his infrastructure there whenever necessary. Running a large construction company takes a lot of work. But going back to his ranch, going back to his roots, is as important, and that's why I'm impressed with him. Dan's grandfather returned from Second World War and later became a very successful businessman. Later, he gave Dan Microsoft stock portfolio, not diversified, and told him with stipulation that he can only spend it to buy a house or to pay for college. And last year, they then came to us and said, I want to donate this whole portfolio, unused, to our own YMCA in Salem. So we benefited as community. And as a key banker, that's why I'm proud to be associated with you guys, to work with people like Dan. And we also contribute to the community. Last year, we gave $75,000 to YMCA's Veterans Housing Project. We gave money to Salem Hospital Foundation, to Samaritan Foundation in Corvallis. Our people volunteer, donate their time and money to many non-for-profits around the state. And that's what makes the state a better place. So you guys, Dan, and all of us working together, donating our time, money, and teaching others these good principles that agriculture holds dear, will make this state even better place to live. And now it's my privilege to introduce to you Derek Josie, our featured speaker. Born into a lineage of dairy farmers in the Pacific Northwest, he farms the same land as his great-grandfather, Alfred, who came to the United States from Switzerland as an indentured servant in 2012. The farm, which began as a 60-acre lease in 1918, is now flourishing and produces 3,000 gallons of milk per day. Today, the 450 acres farm includes a double 12 herringbone parlor, a free-stall barn, grows 500 acres of corn and grass silage, and includes open pasture for grazing. Derek and his wife, KC, are raising the fifth generation of Josies. Bryson, Addison, Reagan, and Dylan on their Tillamook County family farm alongside Derek's parents, Don and Essie. Derek shares regularly his unique experiences about dairy farming with 200 million followers throughout the world. Please help me welcome Derek on stage.
Well, that's how many I reached. I'm not quite that big, but yes.
Good job.
Thank you. So that was a great bio of me, but there have been some updates since that was printed. We are now in a state-of-the-art, brand new facility, sadly not funded by you guys, but used to be Northwest Farm Credit, now it is Ag West? Yes. We broke ground almost 2 years ago on that project. We're working to be 1,200 cows milking with 1,400 total animals on farm. It was quite the rocky road. Many of you might have followed it on my social media channels, the struggles with supply chain issues, you name it, we had to overcome it. It's been an adventure, but in November 15th, we moved 800 cows into the facilities in less than 6 hours, and then I spent the next 24 hours regretting everything I ever thought I wanted. Luckily, the next morning, the second milking, a few of the cows voluntarily went on, and I breathed a huge sigh of relief because on the walk over, I thought to myself, what did I get myself into? With the move, we are no longer in the floodplain, which was one of the main reasons we decided not to renovate our old facilities and build all new. With the new facilities, I also have closed circuit security cameras that I am going to be having live feeds for subscribers on my website. I'm trying to divest a little off of social media, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, so that I'm not beholden to the powers that be that run social media. With that, let's take a step back to 2016, when I decided to start this grand adventure called TDF Honest Farming. I was just a dairy farmer in Tillamook, and all of a sudden, all over Facebook, was this video called Dairy is Scary. Anybody that has watched that video, first thing you think is, man, that lady is very annoying. Second thing you think is, wow, I didn't realize that's what they did at dairy farms. I think I should probably look for alternatives to dairy products. And it really hit home that that video was very convincing when we actually had people that I knew in Tillamook sharing it and demanding that we stop consuming dairy products. Instead of arguing with them on the video producers page and giving them the algorithm boost, I decided to start my own page where I could show my life on the farm. That started in November of 2016. I figured I would just be another ag influencer online, and I would probably have a couple hundred to a couple thousand followers. My biggest regret starting it is forgetting to tell my wife, Casey, that I was going to expose our family and our life to millions of people. But she forgave me for that. She's a very private person, and I am not. Through the course of 2016, I started to think, or 2017, I started to think, maybe I'm not going to just be normal. Evidently, people were finding this interesting. And in 2019, I hit 100,000 followers. That was a huge milestone for me. I was very proud of myself. I worked really hard to the point where I had to relearn how to put the phone down and be present for my family, because it is a business, it is a job, and I was dedicating way too much time to it. Arguing with special people online can be all-consuming. And I actually feel like after I learned how to take a step back and focus on where I should be focusing, which is family and the farm, that I got more productive online, because what I was putting out was more interesting, in my opinion. In 2020, I hit 400,000 followers, and as of this month, I am right at 850,000 followers, and on all my platforms, I'm over 1 million. In 2022, I reached 220 million people, and my average video is being seen by several hundred thousand people daily. It's insane. I'm not that interesting. But with what I've done, I have built a very large community outside of agriculture that defends me and the dairy industry better than I ever could. Anytime you go into the comments section on any of my videos, you see people who don't live on farms explaining what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. They feel connected to agriculture again. And that's what we need. Whether it's through social media or face-to-face, we need to reconnect with our urban and our suburban fellow humans, for lack of a better term. It can seem daunting, but it's really not. Once you start having actual conversations, you find out that we have a lot more in common than we have in differences. And it's just so good to see that people do care about agriculture. They do want to know what we're doing in our daily lives, and they want to learn. Along the way, I have to say that there have been some amazing people that have helped support me. First of all, my wife. Always have to say her first. She keeps me grounded. She lets me know when I'm being kind of dumb. And she's not afraid to tell me, what were you thinking? Because not every one of my posts is amazing. One that comes to mind is when I decided to explain what the different types of milk were, which, you know, whole milk, 1%, 2% fat-free. I had the great idea, and I did this while she was at a horse show, so she couldn't tell me no, that this wasn't a good idea. I took full gallons of milk, I cut the tops off, and I dumped them over my head as I explained. Not a bright idea. That milk is, I don't know if you know this, but it comes out of a refrigerator at 36 degrees. I was miserably cold by the end of the video. It also happened to be the time that my parents were over in Switzerland visiting family, telling them about their son and his exploits online. And that's the video they saw. And it's still up because I'm stubborn and I'm not going to take that video down. It's been an adventure, but it always comes back to community. Whether I have my community online or our community like this, or any of our agricultural groups, whether it's dairy marketing, Incorporated or Oregon Dairy Nutrition Council. Obviously, I'm a dairy farmer, so these are the groups I'm going to name. Oregon Farm Bureau. I mean, they were just in Puerto Rico. Where was my invite? I would have loved to have been there. Chamber of Commerce. Interesting fact for you, the Tillamook Chamber of Commerce. Do you know how many farmers are members of the Tillamook Chamber of Commerce? Can anybody guess? Close. We have 2. Yeah. So we all get in our little cliques and we feel isolated when we all should be working together. Community. That's the key, is building communities that are able to combat what is coming our way. And for the dairy industry, I don't know if you've noticed, but the alternative products, they aren't milks, that section is as big as the dairy case now. And it keeps growing. I mean, pea milk, soy, whatever. It's not milk. But they all try and say that they are more sustainable than milk because they have their own little thing. You know, we use less water than dairy cattle use. We have a better greenhouse gas emissions. What they don't talk about is the fact that milk is a powerhouse beverage that has all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients that you actually need to survive. So when you compare it for pound per pound, milk is a superfood, and the rest of them are flavored water. But let's get back to what I do online. It's not sophisticated. I take this little product right here, and I hold it like this, and I talk to it. It's way easier than what I'm doing right now. I mean, hats off to Brecken. She did an amazing job up here. FFA puts out phenomenal speakers, and I wish I had taken more advantage of that when I was in high school, but I was too busy being involved in sports. But what I do online is I talk about my day-to-day life. Not sophisticated. Half the time I'm covered in cow manure. The other half the time I'm covered in things that may be worse than cow manure. I've shared videos of me and my veterinarian shoulder deep trying to dig a calf out of a cow. Those usually get deemed sensitive content, and evidently the general public is not aware of where calves come from. And they never are gonna be, evidently. The other thing I dabble in, which a lot of people seem to enjoy, is I do rebuttal videos for all the special videos I run into. Not all of them, because there's way too many, it would be a full-time job. One of the latest ones I saw is that they're putting diapers and face masks on cows in France to help protect the environment from the cows' greenhouse gas emissions. I'm sorry. If anything, the pandemic should have shown that it's not the cows, but we are right back to the cows being the problem. I don't get it. Another one I saw recently was there was a video supposedly of a guy that was at a feed mill that made food or mixes for pork producers. Anybody with half a brain could realize that he was actually at a solid waste facility and they were making the pellets that they push all the solid waste into a pellet and then they ship it that way, so it's easier to ship it. But according to this video, that's what they were feeding the pigs. You could see the plastic in it, and that's why you gotta go plant-based, because what they're feeding cattle and pigs and chickens isn't healthy for you. It's a full-time job, so anybody else that wants to sign up, you're welcome to do it with me. It's interesting. You see a lot of interesting stuff. But it's worthwhile. It's fun. I might just be sick and twisted because I enjoy doing it. With that, I am also in the process of building a tourism hotspot in Tillamook in the new facilities. It's 5 years out because I have to build Casey a house before I build my visitor center. It was her one stipulation. But when it's all said and done, we're right on Highway 6 that comes into Tillamook. They'll be able to stop in, grab some ice cream, walk out, see the cows in the barns, walk up to the viewing area, watch the cows, run to get in the parlor, go out, because we have a rotary, which means it goes around, run to get on, and then argue with the barrel that we set there hanging to tell them to back off, because I have jerseys, and they will fight the barrel to try not to back off. But cows hate being milked. So that's my next project. It's, I'm sure Ag West likes hearing that after what we just spent for money. Yeah. Community. Work well with bankers. It's been a wild ride. This is realistically my first keynote, so let me know how I'm doing. Liars. I don't see the green or the yellow, so I guess I'll just keep talking. I got a little time. Usually I do a Q&A session, but I don't know that keynotes are supposed to do that. But let's do that anyway, because I do things differently.
We can do that. I like it. Raise your hand if you have a question for Derek. All right.
All right. Good.
Ooh, we got
one.
a few. We got Rich Duncan with his hand up. I saw that. That's always going to be a good one.
Usually I like to walk around in the crowd too, but I was told I have to stay under these hot, bright lights. So.
I just want to say I'm from California and I worked in the dairy industry for 15 years, so I appreciate everything you're doing up here. Keep it up.
Thank you.
I wanted to get back to your point earlier when you were saying you were going to back off the social medias, and I wanted you to explain why that you were taking that offline and streaming it elsewhere.
It's not, I'm still going to be completely active online, but anybody that does what I do online understands that if they decide to pull your page or your profile offline, you're done. So I have worked over the last year and a half to build an email list that's got 10,000 emails on it. I've got my web page with its subscriber side so that I have a way to still make a difference if I say something that the overlords at social media decide they don't like, because I think I walk a tightrope doing that already with what I do talking about greenhouse gas emissions, or heaven forbid I talk about vaccinating cattle, because that gets the COVID mark on it every single time. So it's just a matter of time before I say something dumb, according to them.
Don't be shy. Oh, here we go.
Thank you. Holsteins or jerseys?
Well, that one's obvious, but I'm going to go into detail on this. When I came home from college, go Beavers. We were milking Holsteins, Jerseys, and Guernseys. How many of you even know what a Guernsey is? Okay, yeah, I'm in an of course. When my dad and I bought my uncle out, the Guernseys were kind of his baby. Well, they got sold because Guernseys love Guernseys. They're sweet-tempered, very docile, dumber than a block of wood. They are born trying to die on you. If you can make a living milking Guernseys, you could do anything. So they went to somebody in Texas that for some reason wanted to milk Guernseys. So then we were down to Holsteins and Jerseys. Well, the Holsteins started to seem a lot more like the Guernseys. Larger cow, not as smart as a Jersey. Butter, fat, and protein isn't as high. So we started to breed our Holsteins to Jerseys. And then my brother bought a farm because my dad was smart enough not to have brothers together. He may have learned from working with his brother. And he bought all our Holsteins, and so we were just with Jerseys. Jerseys are the smaller, more efficient breed with the higher butter, fat, and protein. I don't care what a Holstein breeder tells you, Jerseys are the better breed.
We got time for two more.
Right here.
All right. Ernesto.
Uh-oh.
Thank you. This is wonderful. I'm curious, can you track which region of the country or the world you get most favorable comments and then most unfavorable comments?
Yes, I can. And I'm actually going to do, that was a great question. The analytics on social media are amazing. It can tell me country, it can tell me state, it can tell me city, it can tell me male, female, age demographic. It'll even tell me what their likes and their comments on other pages are. My top cities in the United States, because most of the people that follow me are in the United States. I have the United States is first, Canada, Australia, I think the United Kingdom, and then Germany are my top countries. The top cities in the United States are New York, LA, Seattle, Portland, and I used to give Portland a hard time because I would think being in their backyard, more people should follow me. But Houston, that's the top 5. I can't remember the next 5. But it really lets you know that you are not speaking to an agricultural base. Because I don't know about you, but there's not a whole lot of agriculture in those cities. There is some neat hydroponic stuff going on in those cities, but get your minds out of the gutter. I meant for lettuce and stuff like that. Yes?
Catherine.
Hey, you're supposed to wait for that.
I'm loud, I'm okay. Is there a particular type of video that you do that tends to get a lot of traction online?
You know, cows, shockingly. No, it honestly varies. Sometimes I think I've got a real great video and it'll tank, and then it'll be just a random video of the cows and it'll do amazing. And one that's always, I do a Sunday live Q&A every week on Facebook, and that gets interesting questions every week. But anytime I do video of the girls on their cow brush is guaranteed to get some attention.
Last question is going to be Terry Silbernagel.
What governmental agency has so much time on their hands and so much money in their budget that they can go out and measure cow burps and flatulence?
Don't they all have so much time on their hands? That brings up a fun story for you. I was sitting at the house with Casey, and I look over and it looks like, oh, that we have an official looking vehicle at the new facilities. It was a government vehicle. Do you know what it was? It was the tax assessor. That is the most efficient agency you're going to find in government. Because we hadn't even been in the facilities 2 months, and they were already there making sure that our property taxes were adjusted for those facilities being built. Well, in closing, anybody can do what I do online. I'm not special. Well, I'm special, but not that kind of special. You just have to find the time in the day to do it. I'm probably doing 2 to 3 hours of work online every day, and I define the time when I have dead time between other jobs on the farm. I do still sneak in online at home sometimes, but I do try and stay grounded at home because I've got a couple adorable little girls that are 4 and 2 that, while driving us crazy, are definitely the future of agriculture. And I've got a couple teenagers that also drive us crazy for different reasons. But if you're interested in doing what I do, did somebody just say no? Fair enough. It's not for everybody. There is a lot of resources out there. Your ag associations or your chamber probably has somebody that does it and can give you pointers. I can give you pointers. I have yet to tell somebody that I don't have the time to give them a little bit of help, because it really does take a whole community doing what I do. No one person can do it on their own. Thank you.
Derek, thank you so much. Casey, you're a saint. Let me just say, really appreciate both of you and driving over from Tillamook and all of that. It's, and I want to make sure, I missed thanking Amerititle earlier, and so mea culpa. Amerititle, would you please stand? And I want to thank you for being our Friends of Ag sponsor. Thank you, Brad. Sorry about that. Yeah. There are a lot of challenges facing the ag industry, and I think Derek pointed out a lot of them very aptly. And no matter whether you're in dairy or orchards or you name it, grass seed doesn't matter. There's a challenge out there for you. So, John, do you want to take it?
I just wanted to mention a couple things. One, I heard Chip Tahoon earlier say something about Jeff Stone saying that he was near and dear to his heart. I've never heard that expression used for Jeff Stone before, so I just wanted to point that out. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I've emceed this event a number of times. Evidently, I'm getting long in the tooth because they brought my sister on to help me. But I had the great pleasure twice through the years of introducing Baxter Black, and he passed away this last June. And so I know that those were fun evenings, and I just wanted to mention that in his honor. So anyway, moving along to a more positive note, local family farms, processing facilities, vintners, brewers, grocers, all those in supporting industries like banking, real estate, insurance. We all work in partnership to provide a sustainable future in agriculture in Oregon. And this future is anchored in the ag industry's innovation and perseverance and next generation today and every day. We can show support in one simple way: buy local, or buy products made with local ingredients. Drink beer, drink wine, eat bread, pasta.
Wait.
Yeah?
Cheese, ice cream, milk,
ice
yogurt.
cream, milk, you name it. There, Oregon,
You're welcome.
between 225 and 250 crops, commodities grown here. Beef, a lot of us in the western side of Oregon don't think of it. It's one of the top commodities, ag commodities in this state. Buy from Oregon. Support local. Use your dollars. That's how you can best speak, is with your dollars.
Yeah, thanks. And I just want to say, even though I used to throw apples at John, and you know those really little ones when you thin your apple trees, they really hurt. They hurt. You know, and then he got a little bit bigger than me, and he threw harder. But
then it wasn't fair.
It was never fair. Let me just tell you. But it's an honor to be here and do it with John. I mean, truly, I admire him so much because as a sibling, it's easy to kind of not really see what your brother or your sister is doing. But when I see him in front of all of you and everything else he's done with Farm Bureau and the Chamber and church and you name it, I am just so proud to be your sister. Thank you.
Thank you.
We owe a lot to our mama.
Yes, we do.
We do.
We do. All right, I think that's still you.
Oh, it is still me. And so now, I want to recognize some extraordinary partners. We're just closing out here. So again, Allied Video Productions, thank you so much. The mics worked, the video worked. It's perfect. Thank you. Mindy Smith at SAIF. You must be down at that SAIF table there for amazing graphic design and production work. Dan Johnson on our chamber staff. Dan, out there somewhere. And Mindy partnered on all the visual imagery you see. Catherine and Renoa Davidson, photos by Oren. Official event photographers, thanks. I don't know, do we get to see those pictures somewhere? Maybe just online? Yep, okay, cool, fun. Salem Convention Center and all of your fabulous staff, wonderful steak, chicken, thank you. Our Salem Chamber ambassadors for always welcoming all of our attendees at these events, and our fabulous Salem Chamber team, Tom Hoffer, and all those who assist with our advocacy for businesses in the valley here. Thank you so much.
For Jim Burnett and our friends at Willamette Valley Vineyards, are so gracious in sharing their award-winning wine. If you have not had the opportunity to see their new tasting facility in the Dundee Hills entitled Domain Willamette, it is remarkable. Please go visit them. We salute Jim and Willamette Valley Vineyards for always supporting this event.
And my Shemeketa friends, thank you for the centerpieces. So I want to just let you know that at the table there are those programs, right? And on the front of the programs, one of them at your table has a star. And if you are the star person, you get the centerpiece. So thank you. A beautiful centerpiece to take home for you. And I also want to thank Chip, Christy, Ernesto, and Jack. Thank you for your generosity. SAIF and KeyBank are fabulous partners. Thank you so much. And I think we better wrap up because the crowd is disseminating.
Okay, last of all, would Lynn Zielinski Mills and Naomi Tillery join me on stage? Lynn. These two guide our ship. Thank you for making tonight so special.
Where's Naomi? Where's Naomi? Lynn, thank you.
Naomi.
There you go.
Thank you.
Another DNA sharer. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, come on up, Naomi. All right, I guess there's a photo. Well, thank you all. Eggs, farmers, we're all really innovative, creative people. It's time to go out and do some more innovation, creation, and talk for the night. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Drive home safe. Have a good 2023. Thank you. John?
That's it. Have a great evening. Thank you.